Often you hear baseball fans talking about a player having a good season because they hit 20 wins or 100 RBIs, but not all 20-win or RBI seasons are good, are they? In this video, I reveal the worst seasons by some of the common benchmarks that are used to compare players. First up, home runs. Often considered one of the hardest things to do in sports. If you hit a lot of them, you have to be good, right? Well, in 2016, Mark Trumbo hit 47 home runs for the Baltimore Orioles. Despite this, he was only worth 1.9 F-WAR due to his poor outfielding skills, as he was often expected to play right field. In 1998, Jose Canseco hit 46 homers for the Toronto Blue Jays as their designated hitter. He drove in 107 runs and even stole 29 bases, but was worth only 1.3 F-WAR. Why? First, he hit .237 with an on-base percentage of .318. Second, he was caught stealing 17 times. And third, his WRC plus was only 110, slightly above league average. For me, the worst high home run season is Dante Bichette's 34 in 1999 for the Colorado Rockies. Bichette hit .298 with a .354 on base and .541 slugging. He drove in 133 and scored 104 times. All this just to put up a 100 WRC plus, aka exactly a league average performance. When you factor in his awful defense, his negative 2.1 F-WAR makes sense. He made 13 errors in left field, which led all major league left fielders that season. Next category, RBIs. In 2017, Albert Pujols had 101 RBIs for the Los Angeles Angels. Despite the high RBI total, Pujols batted only .241 with a .286 on base. His WRC plus was only 77, 23% worse than a league average hitter that season. His F-WAR was negative 1.8, making him nearly 2 wins worse than a AAA player. In 1990, Joe Carter drove in 115 runs for the San Diego Padres. He hit 24 home runs and stole 22 bases. Despite the high RBI total, Fangraphs gives him a negative 2 WAR for that season. Why? His .232 batting average and .290 OBP, along with a WRC plus of only 80. It probably didn't help that he made 6 errors at first base in only 14 games. Maybe first base isn't easy.
It's not that hard, Scott. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
However, the worst 100 RBI season I could find comes from Ruben Sierra in 1993. Sierra hit 22 home runs, drove in 101, and stole 25 bases. Good numbers, right? No. He batted .233 with an on-base percentage of .288, which gave him a WRC plus of 79, 21% worse than a league average player that year. Next up is runs. This often gets especially valued if the player hits near the top of the order. Score 100 runs in a season, and you had a great year, right? Sometimes. In 1999, Brett Boone scored 102 runs for the Atlanta Braves. He hit 20 home runs too. However, he batted .252 with a .310 on base and a WRC plus of 83. Add in below average fielding for a second baseman that year and you get a negative .2 WAR. In 2004, Bernie Williams scored 105 runs with an elite walk rate of 13.1%. His on base was a solid .360 and his WRC plus of 110 is 10% above league average. However, his F-WAR was negative .2, mostly because of his atrocious negative 20 defensive runs saved on defense. Granted, he was a 35-year-old still playing center field, so that's more on the Yankees than on Bernie. Next, stolen bases. Base stealers are said to set the table and help spark rallies. But some seasons, a good base stealer hurts their teams. 43 stolen bases sounds good, right? What if they get caught stealing 32 times? That happened in 1915 by Bert Schotten. 56 steals sounds good. But what if you're caught 30 times? That was Steve Sachs in 1983. The caught stealing made him worth slightly below 0 WAR as a base runner. Basically worth the same as never stealing. In 1915, Tommy Griffith stole 6 bases but was caught stealing 24 times for negative .5 WAR. A few years later in 1920, Larry Gardner stole 3 bases and was caught 20 times for negative 0.7 WAR. At that point, you may as well just walk him on purpose and hope he steals. Pitcher wins. These often get used to describe good pitching seasons. 20-game winners often win Cy Youngs. In 1930, George Earnshaw went 22-13 with an ERA of 4.44 in a year where the league average was 4.8, only a bit lower than an average pitcher. In 1936, Vern Kennedy went 21-9 with a 4.63 ERA when the league average was 4.55, below league average pitcher. Also in 1930, Ray Kremer went 20-12 with a 5.02 ERA while the league average was 4.8. Below average stats, but winning pitcher. ERA gets used a lot to talk about pitchers, but FIP does a better job of predicting the pitcher's performance in a bigger sample. Some examples are 1974 Tom Murphy, who had an ERA of 1.9 but a FIP of 3.74. His career ERA was 3.78. In 1949, Al Benton had a 2.12 ERA with a FIP of 3.73. His career ERA was 3.72. And in 1933, Hal Schumacher's ERA was 2.16, but with a FIP of 3.5. Schumacher's career ERA was 3.36, much closer to his FIP that season. Good pitchers are often touted for high strikeout totals. 200 plus is usually considered solid. In 2019, Trevor Bauer racked up 253 strikeouts but had a 4.48 ERA, 4.34 FIP in a year where the league ERA was 4.51. High strikeouts, but still a league average performance. In 1986, Mark Langston racked up 245 strikeouts for the Seattle Mariners. His ERA was 4.85. His FIP of 3.95 was close to the league average of 3.97. High strikeouts, but not an incredible season. And Hall of Famer Bob Feller had 240 strikeouts in 1938. He went 17-11 with a 4.08 ERA, 4.25 FIP in a season where the league ERA was 4.3. He also had 208 walks. Saves. Saves are a mostly useless stat in my opinion, as I've explained in another video. Proving this further are a few seasons where relievers put up high saves with a negative WAR. In 2005, Bob Wickman saved 45 games for the Cleveland Indians but had a 4.75 FIP. His F-WAR that season was negative 0.3. In 2004, Sean Chacon had 35 saves for the Colorado Rockies. His ERA was 7.11 and FIP 6.57 to be worth negative 1.1 WAR. The most surprising one on this list is Bobby Thigpen. Once the holder of the single-season record for saves with 57 in 1990, he had two of the worst seasons by a closer before and after that. In 1989, he had 34 saves, 4.78 FIP, negative 1.1 WAR. 1991, 30 saves, 5.18 FIP, negative 1.2 WAR. 30-plus save seasons but actually cost their team wins by being in the lineup. There you have it. Some of the benchmarks that baseball enthusiasts use when they talk about whether a player had a good season have some serious limitations. What do you think? What stat do you see getting thrown around to talk about good players that just doesn't make sense? Let me know in the comments.